Hello everybody, this is spiritual gearhead here. I'd like to show you today my 1981 Kawasaki 650. Had this for a few years, working on and off on it when I felt like it, and today the time has come to line up the camshaft and put the valve cover back on. And to make this timing correctly, we have to use some instructions from Kawasaki. Here's a page from the service manual explaining how to do the cam timing properly. I'll do it on the bike as well, but there it's difficult to see because of the light and or more rather the shade. So we'll go through it here first. Now the intake cam has a mark which says IN. That should be flush with the mounting surface of the valve cover. On the exhaust cam there are several markings. Actually there are several markings on both of the sprockets, but you should align the one with Z6EX for the same mating surface. And when you do that, you should count the pins starting at number 1, just above the surface, and you should end with the 45th and the 46th in between the line for the intake there. This can be a bit tricky to get right in the beginning because the cams obviously won't just lay in its place. You have to torque them down to get them to push the valves down at the same time, and it might take a couple of tries before you get the markings there. When you've done that, you're going to put the tensioner back in and see if that really changes any of this relationship. If it still looks good and the marking down on the crankshaft as well, you should gently start to turn the engine very gently to see if it binds up. If you feel some resistance, then you need to stop and do it again. If it feels okay and you're turning it, you should be able to turn it a few times and end up on the same place with both of them. There is possibility of some slack in the chain, so that when you have turned it a few times, this won't be accurate. Then you need to check if you got like one tooth wrong or something, that you can get that more correctly. But the relationship between this cam and this cam is kind of set with the number of pins there. So yeah. Another thing to point out, that this method here is only for the late style 650s. The earlier ones, the B models, they had a different system. They have like a sprocket tensioner here, and they have a different count on the teeth, and the sprockets for the earlier ones, they are of a much flimsier type, and the chain itself is it's a much flimsier type of chain. So this is kind of an improved model. But if you're looking at this video and you have one of these old style bikes, this isn't going to help you at all. So this is only for the late ones. And my bike, it's a 1981 650 SR. So it has the electronic ignition, which came in 81, and all that stuff. So be sure that you got the right bike before you use this video for any help. There is a relationship between where the camshafts should be and where the crankshaft should be. It's even possible to see in here, but yeah, just slightly there is a top dead center for the cylinder 1 and 4, which needs to be positioned correctly. When that is in place, you will need to line up the camshafts it's very dark here. Yeah, there you can see you have a mark there. It's supposed to be flush with the mounting surface for the valve cover. It's the same up here. And first thing you do is position the camshaft like that, and you should actually count the pins on the chain starting from here, and you should have the 45, the 45th and the 46th pin in between the marking there on the camshaft sprocket. When you have managed to do that, you should be all good. You will then try to turn the engine very slowly and very carefully to see if something binds up. And you should turn it a few times, and you should see that it will be able to end up on the same markings and with the crankshaft in the correct position there inside. When you can do that, you can begin to torque down the camshaft bearing caps to the correct torque, and in the end it's just to pop on the valve cover. So here you see the valve cover is back in its place. I bought some stainless steel flange head bolts there. They're not original, but it looks pretty nice, I think. The valve cover itself is also powder coated, which is also not original, but together with the engine, I think it looks pretty nice. That's about as far as I'll get in this video right now. There's lots of things to do and lots of parts that I don't even have yet, and I'll just have to come back to you later. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit also about the importance of having something like this to do, to have some kind of project going. And you know, in the world today there's so much negativity going on, there's so much things that can really drag you down, and having a project like this, or maybe an old car or whatever, to keep you sane, that's pretty important. Cut out the news, the media. They have their own agenda. They don't want anything good for you. But I mean, keeping yourself sane with a small project, trying to repair something, you know, meet friends who do the same thing. It's gonna help you out. Okay, thank you.